Good morning, everybody. Ron here at the RV Roofman. Today we are on a Fusion, and this is a piece of junk, but we're going to make it work today. So let's go check this out. You ready? First thing you're going to notice is this roof is in really bad condition. This is an EPDM rubber roof, and it's deteriorating pretty bad. Normally they're going to tell you to have to replace this roof for a roof system can salvage the day, save the day. That doesn't make any sense, Ron, but it's okay. Here we are. But first thing we need to do is people ask this question all the time. What do you do here? Well, when it's this crusty, you need to scrape it out. Take the time, put in the extra effort, make it done right. You don't want to do this twice. You want to do it once, not twice. So, simply just get yourself a nice plastic scraper, something that's less risky to damage the sides, and you're just gonna go ahead and run this here until you get that stuff all gone. After you do this, and you get it all cleaned up, we've already washed the roof, you'll tape it off. This one, we're gonna have to do primer now. So we'll do a prime. And then what we'll do is run a bead of super sealant in here, available at the rvroofman.com. And then we'll go ahead and coat it. You leave the tape on there until the next day, then you can pull it all off at once. And this will be a nice, beautiful roof all over again. So, next step, let me go ahead and get this scraping and let's go from there. Now, the next most common question is, where do you tape it off when you're doing this? So, as you can see, the molding has a lip, okay? Can't find my finger because I'm not used to recording it this way. So, this has a lip, and then you see it rolls over, and we tape it off before here. We want the sealant to get in there, we want the coating to all connect. So you don't need to tape, you can tape all the way down here, but you're taking the risk of it running through just in case. Now, sometimes there's a bunch of gunk on there, you might have no choice but to tape right inside there, but this is our preferred tape line is here, so that we're going and we'll be able to get our sealant in there and still coat everything and blend it all together. So, all right, let me finish scraping and taping, and then we'll show you the next step here. I also did forget to mention, don't just assume that you tape it off here and you're good. Our product is very heavy and dense. It will continue to fall down. So it is recommended to make sure you put plastic all the way down here or paper. The other method is you could tape this so it has a lip, but remember, you're gonna be flinging stuff around. It would be best practice to cover this, which I will do after I get this taped off. So just remember that as one of the things. You do not want to just let it hang and roll over. It's very heavy, so if you put too heavy a material in the one area and it runs, it will cure like that and dry with a drip mark. You can come back and sand it and reapply the material if necessary. Let's continue. Very common problem we see a lot of time. People, scraping the sealant is a good idea sometimes, but when your roof is in bad condition and it doesn't easily remove, you can cause problems. One of these problems is the old sealant here was removed. They put new sealant in, that's great. But if we get closer, you guys, what's going on here? Well, when they were scraping it, they put a lot of holes in it. There's a hole here, there's a hole here. So these are things you gotta be careful for. I mean, if they let the sealant flow out farther, they would be okay. But because they did not, that is, been getting some water in there. So, uh-oh. And there's a possibility that that could be some rot. So we'll see. It could be the seam, but we'll check that out. Now there's two ways you could seal when you're doing your resurfacing with Forever Coat. You can do the coating and you would coat up to the edge of your old existing sealant, or you can install it ahead of time and then let it tack up a little bit, and then you come in here and coat up, and you can get, coat up onto it a little bit and seal it all in at one time. You guys are installing the Forever Lap Sealant or the extra leveling sealant paintable, use the proper amount. It's very important. As you can see, we use plenty. We want to cover every single aspect problem possible on here. So that is 2 tubes for this one vent. That is a proper seal job, something you'll never have to screw with again. Ask so many questions. What do you do in the instance where you have this molding that comes on the roof and then it rolls over and then you have this very deep ledge here, right? Obviously I didn't clean this out first, right? So we just did dry rot repair here. So this is a splice in seamless repair. So there's no moldings or anything, no transitions, and this will all get coated again. But let me show you what we're gonna do and how to accomplish on sealing this whole entire and encapsulating it. Let me show you. So what you do is you tape it all off. You're gonna let this sit there for about 3 days or so. Now if you're in a hurry, you can time it right, you can get it off, but it's better to just wait. So we ran it from the top and we let it run all the way over. And then because this has a little pocket, what I did is I took that runoff and I pushed it into that pocket to allow it to fill it in. So then you end up left with this completely encapsulated seal molding And I even encapsulate the corners where the water will pile up. I'm gonna go back and fix that. You can see that there. But seals the whole molding in, and you don't have to worry about anything getting in again. And on ladders, same thing. We go way up here above water lines, and that way there's nowhere for water intrusion. Okay, so now we have everything primed. We have all our sealant done. I did this yesterday, so now I can just coat into it. Now you could coat up to the original sealant line right here, and then let it dry, come back in and allow the forever lap sealant extra flow to flow onto the coating. But we're doing it this way for time because it is Friday, and I was trying to take, maybe one day off. So anyways, now it's time to get ready to start coating. So let's go. Take into consideration, right now it might not look it, but this is a very, very large slope. So when you coat this is why sometimes it's recommended you do 2 thinner coats. It will try to run down the slope. So just remember, if they're very sloped or very arched, it is highly recommended to do at least 2 thinner coats so that you don't get a crazy mess. As you can see, it starts to run, but this tacks so fast that it doesn't get very far. That's the new extra flow. But right here, when we coat it, we got to be really cautious. So as you can see, now I got this nice silky smooth surface, and I'm just using a 1/2-inch nap roller to roll it all out. And if you start hearing a sticky sound, it might be a little too thin, but because I talked about the front, that slope, we'll come back in and finish another layer. Just make it all a little bit thicker on that front end and blend it to this part. So, but right now it looks great. Some people go, oh, it's great. No, you got to get that thickness on there. Don't skip those steps. You need the thicker, you get a higher tensile strength, more puncture resistance. So stick to the plan. All right, so there you have it. That is a completed forever roof. Pretty much start from finish, start to finish. And obviously the next thing you'll do is you'll let it all dry. You'll come back, pull the tape. If you have any tape that's going to be at the forever lap sealant lines, you're going to make sure you use a razor blade to cut those. Other than that, beautiful, gorgeous roof. We'll install the air conditioner in a day, and we'll do a paper off. Yeah, here we go. Beautiful.